Hello and welcome to the Second Row Conversations podcast. I'm Letitia, also known as Lady P, and I'm excited to have you join me on today. I would like to thank you, as always, for joining me and sending me those thank you notes and those I appreciate yous. They really encourage me to keep going and to keep coming every week. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. And I just want to let you know that all of those words of encouragement helps me and allows me to keep coming every week. So thank you again. So I'm excited to be here today. It is October. I cannot believe it. It is October already. And I am excited to have a very special guest with me. October is recognized as Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so this month, today, I have my very, very special friend, my coworker of almost, that's crazy, 20 years, Miss Angela Williams. So please welcome Miss Angela Williams today. Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, my friend. So, like I said, Angela and I have been working together. I started working at Wilson in 2006. I think you had already been working there
since 2004.
Since 2004, right? And so we've been kicking it together ever since then. So that is crazy, almost 20 years. And so I asked Angela to join me today because this year she faced a battle that we did not know that it was going to come, but God graced her. And I asked her to come on today because this year, what month was it? Do you remember?
We found out, and the process started in November.
In November, wow.
And
so November last year, okay.
Yeah, the process started in November when I had a abnormal mammogram.
Okay.
And the ball kept rolling after that.
Okay.
And probably like in December, I think when they first said something about breast cancer, I was like, I'm not hearing them right. I'm not hearing them right.
Right.
And so when my doctor said, we think you need to go see a surgeon, I was like, these people are crazy. But nevertheless, went to go see a surgeon.
Okay.
And he said, your mammogram came up a little odd. We need you to do biopsy, did that. Had to go through another 3D mammogram at McLeod, did that. And probably like the early part of February, I went to go see the surgeon, and I had surgery February the 7th.
Wow.
February
so it was a
7th.
quick turnaround.
It was a quick turnaround, real fast.
Yeah.
And at that time, I still did not hear the words breast cancer, because after I saw the surgeon, the nurse came out with this big, thick book that looked like an encyclopedia.
Wow.
That said breast cancer, and I got the beautiful pillow in the shape of a heart that was pink and white. And I was like, no, I'm not hearing them right, to the point that I knew something was wrong, that I lost my car in the parking garage. So
when you came out, you could find your car.
I was like, okay, I know I parked my truck. Where is it? And I said, okay, let's get it together. Let's get it together.
Okay.
And went home, called my sister. I said, I think, but I'm not sure. I said, I may have breast cancer, but I'm not sure. And she was like, well, what you mean you're not sure? And I was like, I'm just not sure. And but Dr. Wilcox was my surgeon.
Okay.
And so he called me in. He talked me through everything. He broke it down plain. And that's when my journey started, February the 7th.
Wow. Okay. And one thing I can say about you is that you went every year. Like you always went to get squeezed. I'll say it like that. You would always come and say, hey, Plotter, I'm just want to let you know I'm going to McLeod. I got to go get squeezed today. That was something that you just always did. It was never a question about you going to have your mammogram. So this was something that was just nothing new. That you just always went, right? Okay.
I was faithful by going to get my mammogram. And I was used to getting the letters in the mail about mammogram is normal. You have dense breasts. And I was like, okay. But this time when I had my mammogram and the staff read it and they came back and I said, oh boy, what is this all about? And when he came back, they said, well, we want to do something a little bit extensive. And that's when I had to have the biopsy. After the biopsy, I went to the 3D machine at McLeod so that they could examine it some more. And that's when they found the mass under my left breast.
Okay. Okay. And so that started the process.
That
And
started the
so
process.
When, how was that telling you? Said you talked to your sisters, like, I think I have. Because did they ever just come out and say, Angela, this is what we see. You have cancer. You have breast cancer. Did they ever just come out and say, you have breast cancer? Or did they just say, we see something a little wonky, we think you need to have surgery, and then we're going to start the process of chemo? Like, what did how did
they may have said it.
Okay.
And I just did not hear it because in my head, I kept saying, okay, God, you got this. You got this. But I think the more people that I saw,
right,
I was like, oh, this is really happening.
Right.
And my sister kept saying, but that's not what you told me. You just said they found the mass. It was like grain of salt.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And but I think after my second visit with Dr. Wilcox, I was like, oh my, we got to have surgery.
Okay.
Because I was trying to tell him when I could have surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was like, well, I got fall intercession coming up, so we can do it. He said, no, ma'am, we are doing it this particular time. I said, are you sure? And he was like, yes, ma'am. He said, you're going to be fine. He told me exactly where he was going to cut and everything, how long I would be out of work. And I was like, you sure? And he was like, yes, ma'am.
So was that hard, giving up the control of, because you are very, so y'all, the running joke in our friendship and in that school is that Angela, I say she has OCD, she says
I have the OCD traits.
Okay, but I say she has a little OCD. So was it hard giving up the control of Dr. Wilcox, I have this time and this is when I'm available? Was that hard, giving up the control of, I say I can be available at this time, and then him saying, no, this is when we're going to do it?
It was.
Okay.
And I think the day when he finally decided on the surgery and everything, and he said, well, you also going to have to see an oncologist. I was like, wait, one thing at a time. Just take me through the process, one thing at a time.
Okay.
And him and the nurse was very good about asking me, are you okay? Are you okay? And I was like, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. And I just kept telling myself, okay, God, okay, what we gonna do? How we gonna handle this? So once I came to the reality and faced it, I was like, okay, we gotta come through some peace with this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was that? How was that process of coming to the peace of accepting what you have?
Accepting what I had heard.
Okay.
Also relying on some people that I knew that had went through it.
Okay.
I knew I had a church member that had went through breast cancer.
Okay.
I knew I had a good friend who's just like a little sister to me. I called her, and her brother just happened to be a researcher.
Okay.
In cancer. So she said, these are the questions I need you to start asking.
That's good.
This is some of the things I need you to start doing as far as like what I'm eating.
Okay.
What not to eat.
Okay.
And she said, don't stress. She said, don't stress. She said, this is when you got to rely on your faith.
Right.
And I said, okay. And she said, I need you to start reading some positive things. So I remember when Joel Osteen mama, Dottie Osteen, started talking about her process when she had cancer. So I ordered her book on healing for cancer.
Okay.
And it taught a lot about scripture.
Okay.
About different scriptures you need to start repeating over your life,
right.
over and over. And that's what I started doing. And then the hard part for me was letting my brother know and letting my coworkers know.
Right.
Because I knew that this meant that I was going to be out.
Yes.
And so I had to let my coworkers know. And so that's how the process went. And so the day of the surgery, my sister was right there. My brother and my sister-in-law came. And I was in the hospital bed. I could hear my brother loud mouth coming down the hall. And I was like, please go out and find him.
Okay.
And let him know we're in the hospital.
Right.
And because I know he also was going to get nervous about the process.
Yeah.
So went through the surgery fine. Dr. Wilcox came in and told me about everything. Then that was when I got my appointment with the oncologist.
Okay.
2 weeks later.
So talk about the scriptures and how that helped you through the surgery and then through going through your chemo and that process. How did that help you through that process?
Okay. One scripture that I kept repeating was, by God's stripes, I'm healed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another thing I kept saying, God, I know that you can cure any type of disease and you can heal any type of sickness. And I kept telling myself, you the same God yesterday, today, and forevermore.
Absolutely.
And I can remember Dodie Osteen kept saying, these are not a one-time thing that you keep saying. You keep saying these things over and over every day.
Right.
And till this day, I still say it. Like I tell myself, when I go through the deep waters, God, you are right there with me.
Yes.
You are right there. I can truly say that it opened my eyes to depend more on God, to depend more on who created this. And I said, okay, maybe this is a process so that I can help somebody else.
Right.
And I can't be selfish with it. And I've gotten to the point now that I talk more about it. I'm not scared to share about it.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I hold on to, is that I know that God is a healer.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's a healer.
He is, right. And I remember when my dad went through surgery, and he would always say, you know, it's one thing to tell people that God is a healer, but until you go through it, right. It's completely different.
Yeah.
As a pastor, yes, you be there for people and you help them as they go through sickness, but until you actually go through sickness, it is completely different. So, you know, you being a church member and being there for friends and family, and until you actually see he is indeed a healer, it is completely different. So now, why you said it was hard for you to talk about it? Why do you think it was hard for you to talk about it?
I think it was hard because I think I was still kind of like in denial stage of everything that was going on. But when I started doing radiation, that changed my story, because you could hear people coming in that was doing radiation or getting ready to go do chemo, and their story was much worse than my story. I can remember going to radiation, and there were people in there that had battle cancer for the second or the third time. And I was like, oh no. And I saw people in radiation that had been like in stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. And I was like, well, thank God, you know, I was only in stage 1. And it was cancer in different spots that I was like, oh man, this is unbelievable. And I can remember being at the cancer center at McLeod, and I was saying, these are some sweet people, and special people, because it takes special kind of people to work there. Because the radiation, I had this wild idea what radiation was all about. But they take you through like a little dummy exercise as to what to expect during the radiation. And I was blessed because I only had to do radiation for 15 days.
That's awesome.
And so it was like I just had to gain a better understanding of my body, because I was like, okay, I can go to radiation, I can go back to work.
Oh yeah, we had those conversations. Yes.
You know, I go to radiation and go back to work.
You know,
and some days I could make it. Some days I had to go home.
Right. So it taught you about not just your emotional well-being, but also your physical well-being. Like you really had to take care of yourself and depend on other people.
Because I had to learn, like, okay, when you're tired, just go home. Just go home and rest. But instead, you know, I was still trying to do Angela things. I was still trying, okay, I can do this, until one day I got to work and the office manager looked at me and said, go home.
Go home, Angela.
And when I got home, I just kind of like crashed. So And even till this day after the radiation, I still have to listen to my body.
Yes.
I still have to understand that there, especially if the sun is out,
Right.
that I have to be very particular about that. And so it's those type of things that I still have to be aware of my body. And I can remember going home one weekend when I finally did start back driving, and I left all my medicine here in Florence, and I was always in Greenwood.
Really?
And I told my sister, I said, I just don't feel right. And she said, well, go lay down. And it was just an eye opener. Okay, you hard headed.
Yes.
And so I was like, okay, let's get it together and do what you're supposed to do.
Do what you're supposed to do, Miss Ma'am.
Yeah.
Right. So you get through the process, you go through radiation. Talk about the day when you were able to ring the bell. What did that feel like?
My final treatment day was April the 28th.
Right.
And I went in for my last treatment. And you in the room with nothing but you in the radiation machine once they get you prepped. And the tears was just rolling in there. And I was talking to God, and I was like, God, this is the end. You know, this is the end of this. And I said, and thank you. So I knew my brother and sister and my nieces was coming down for the ringing of the bell. I did not expect the entire school counseling department. I did not expect to see the office manager.
Right.
I did not expect to see some more friends. And I was just overwhelmed with emotions. So when it came down, and Callie, who was back there with me in radiation the whole time, I couldn't do nothing but cry when I was ringing that bell, because I was like, those were some of the longest 15 days I have ever experienced. But I was thankful that it was done. And me, I was so crazy. I said, okay, this process is over. I'm done.
Oh.
But that wasn't the case, because I still had to see the surgeon. I still had to see the doctor in radiation, and I still had to see my oncologist.
Okay.
So I still have to do that. So the appointments still comes. My appointments now are just a little spread out.
Okay.
I see them 3 months, and then I go back in 6 months.
Okay.
So that's how that process has been.
Okay. So I know, people, you told some people, were there some things people try to, sometimes people just don't know what to say, right? They just don't know what to say. What would you say to folks out there if someone comes to them, family, friends, what were some of the things that people said to you that may have been helpful?
Okay.
And were there anything that people said to you that may not have been too helpful?
Helpful has been like, you got this. Okay. We here with you. Okay. We support you. Unhelpful has been like, how long you had it? Well, how you know you had it? Well, what you gonna do about it? And I was like, okay. And sometime I would answer,
right? And
sometime I wouldn't answer. And I was like, it's all good. It's all good. And then some things, well, why didn't you tell me? Where at that time, I felt like I only need to tell my close-knit circle.
Right.
At that particular time.
Right.
And I'm still kind of like that in a way. Is just sharing like with my close-knit. Because I know those were the people that was right there.
Absolutely.
So I'm very appreciative of that. But I would just tell anybody, words of encouragement, it means a lot. Right. Words of encouragement means a lot when you're going through this. Not only are you battling this physically, but as you stated, it's a mental thing that you go through also.
Right.
And you have to, just like your shirt says, we have to have that faith over fear.
Absolutely. Because
that fear has a way of coming in there, and you have all these mind games that be going back and forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was listening to Jackie Hill Perry, she's one of my favorites, and her podcast yesterday. And one of the things that she was talking about, they had a guest on that had been dealing with infertility for a while, and she wrote a book. And one of the things that she talked about was she and her husband went through a grieving process. They grieved because it was really hard. And a lot of times believers don't feel like you should grieve. Like if you're going through certain things, you know, people talk, oh, you should, you know, rejoice always, and that you shouldn't question God, and, you know, everything happens for a reason. And it does. But when you're going through things, there's a whole book in the Bible named Lamentations. Like it is a book about grieving. And so people have to understand that it is hard when you are facing whatever it is that you're facing, whether it is a medical diagnosis, whether it is a prayer, an unanswered prayer. That was the title of the book that the guest was there about, is about when God doesn't answer your prayers, and how do you deal with that. And a part of dealing with unanswered prayers is grieving, and it's just a hard concept sometimes for people to understand, is that as you're going through things, sometimes it's just best sometimes just to be quiet.
Yeah.
You understand? Just sit there. You know, you ask someone how they doing. I'm not having a good day. I understand. I'm here for you. And that's sometimes the best thing to do, instead of asking all those, why didn't you tell me? Well, maybe I just didn't. I wasn't just in the mindset to talk about it that day.
Right.
Or like you said, I had the people that I've wanted to talk to about it. And instead of questions, just pray.
Yeah.
You know? So I think it's important for people to understand that even if some people don't share everything that they're going through,
right,
just understand that, hey, just be there for them. Just pray for them.
Right.
Because we can't fix it anyway. The only one that can, he will.
Right.
Right?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So I think it's important that people understand that even if you don't know what to say, just don't say anything. Just pray. Right. So that's why I wanted to know that as you were going through, were there things that people said that were encouraging, you know, sending the scriptures or sending a text or sending a meal or anything that helped you as you went through those 15 days.
And I give all shout outs to you because you kept saying, Angela, we love you.
Right.
And we here for that. We here for you. And that's something that resonated in my head time and time again. And I think that's just one of the important things that people need to know, that there are don't do this battle by yourself. I would definitely say that.
Not at all.
Because you're gonna need people.
Absolutely.
This is not a journey that you should go through by yourself. But you got to find the right people that's gonna be that rock with you.
Right.
And I think that is so important.
Absolutely, absolutely. Finding the right people.
Right.
Because everybody don't have your back. So how do you practice self-care? How are you practicing self-care?
Now, when I'm tired, I go to bed.
Yes.
I go to bed and I just stop doing what I do.
Okay.
I was like, okay, slow down.
Yeah.
Because there are still moments, because of the way that radiation stays in your body.
Yeah.
You know, I still get a little tired sometimes.
Okay.
And that's because on the left side, like some of my muscles are still trying to regenerate and stuff like that I'm learning. And because I even asked the radiologist doctor, I said, is this normal? Is this? She said, no, it's common.
Okay.
She said, because your body has been through a traumatic experience.
Absolutely.
So you got to give your body time to heal. And I said, okay. I had some trouble with the chemo pill that I take.
Okay.
And that was a matter of just switching it from the AM to the PM because it was making me so nauseous in the morning time. So that has helped.
Okay.
Now I'm not afraid to ask the doctor questions, because I asked my oncologist, am I done with you? And she said, no, not for the next 5 years.
Okay.
I said, okay, we're going to become good friends.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so it's just knowing when, listen to your body. Listen to your body. I would tell anybody, male or female, you know, do those monthly breast exams.
Yes.
I will admit I was slack, but no more.
Right.
And just make sure you take care of your body, because it is our temple.
It is.
And it's the only temple that we get.
Yes.
So we have to take care of it.
Yes. Absolutely. What advice What advice would you give to someone who has just received a diagnosis?
Ask different questions.
Okay.
Read up on it. Don't Google a lot, because I did
Okay.
that. I did that too.
Oh, yes, you
Yeah,
did.
I did that too. Don't Google
Yes,
a lot.
you did.
The book that they gave me that looked like the little encyclopedia, I pulled it out the other day.
Okay.
If it's some terms in there you do not understand,
Yes.
yeah, write it down.
Okay.
I have gotten to the point now, if I have a question, I just write it down on the little memo pad.
Okay.
And I asked the doctor about it.
Okay.
One thing about my oncologist is that she has a beautiful nurse. So when I can't get the oncologist, I can just text the nurse and she'll make sure I get the answer that I need.
Okay.
I rely a lot on my little sister Regina, whose brother is the researcher.
Okay.
I call and ask, like, okay, what about this? You know, and build and still keep a support group.
Yes.
One thing that I think that we are missing, and maybe we're not missing, I may just have found, is like a 101 class.
Okay.
Like, you know, what do you do after?
Yes.
You know, how do you take care of yourself after? And, yeah, ask questions.
Ask questions.
Ask questions.
Okay.
Even when you may not know how to pronounce a word.
Right.
Ask questions.
Point at it. Hey, what does
this mean?
Yes.
You
yes.
know, and
Right.
Because I didn't know, you know, I didn't know what some of the words. I said, what? I said, can you break that down for me?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just ask questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And so have support. Make sure you have the support. Talk to people. Ask the questions.
Right.
Because there's no such
And-
thing as a dumb question.
No,
Right.
and don't try to go through, whether it's radiation, chemo, and some people that I met at the cancer center was doing both. Don't try to go at it by yourself. Have somebody there with you.
Yes.
Yeah, have somebody there with you as you go through the radiation. My radiation lasted like maybe, I may have been in it maybe 10 minutes. But it was just the effect afterwards.
Right.
Of the radiation. But yeah.
Have somebody in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know, even the strongest person still needs someone to rely on. So what has been the most significant change you think you've seen in yourself after you've gone through this whole process?
Being more humble. Definitely more humble.
Okay.
And definitely grateful.
Okay.
Because even when I went to the cancer center back in last month, it was a whale of emotions that came over me. Even though I was just going there just to talk to the doctor.
Okay.
It was just still seeing so many people that was in there.
Yeah.
You know, I saw people with hair. I saw people without hair.
Because you never lost your hair. No?
Never lost my hair. And I heard different stories about how radiation affected different people. And I heard some people that was battling it for the third time that said, this is it. They won't do radiation again.
Wow.
I met some people that was going through chemo and the toll that the chemo had on them. And you become humble because you realize, okay, even though I didn't had this diagnosis, I've been diagnosed and went through the radiation, there's still people out there that's worse off than me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you see somebody coming to the oncologist or either just to get treatment by themselves, you want to be the one that reach out and give them a pat on the back or give them a hug.
Right.
Because I saw that.
Yeah.
And that was like, who let them come up here by themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely humble and grateful.
Okay. Well, good. So as you go through this, as you've gone through this, you've more humble, more grateful. You've given advice to others. I thank you for your time. I thank you for just being a strong woman because you have strengthened us. You've strengthened me as you've gone through this. Not one time did you complain. Not one time did you, at least not to me, not to us. So not one time. Even y'all, she would still come to Bible study. No one knew at Bible study. They didn't know until with her permission, I made the announcement at church that she had rung the bell that for her last day of radiation. So they were, of course, overjoyed at Bible study. So it was just, her strength was amazing, and it continues to be amazing. So I thank you. I thank you for just going through this. God is amazing. And one thing he just shows us continuously that he is able to do exceedingly and abundantly. And so as you continue to go to the doctor's office, just remember that he has shown you that he is indeed a healer. And there's nothing too hard for him. So just remember, by his stripes, yep, you are indeed healed. So thank you. I appreciate you. I thank you for coming on the second row. Y'all, she was so nervous when I asked her to come.
Very.
Yes, very, very. So thank you. Thank you for being a part. So faith over fear. Just remember, if you are battling, or someone that you love, someone that you know is battling breast cancer, just know that we are indeed praying for you and for your loved one. I am wearing my pink. I'm wearing my pink ribbon for you. And a special shout out to my Aunt Mary. We are still praying. God is indeed a healer. So please know that we are still fighting this fight for you. And I am also wearing this in honor of my cousin Lynn, who, even though she's not here, she still won the battle. And so we are wearing this pink in honor of her as well. So thank you. Thank you for all of you who are joining us on the second row. Please remember to watch us wherever you get your podcast, whether that's on Apple, on Spotify, wherever you watch us. That's also on YouTube. I thank you for always being a part of the Second Row Conversations podcast. And remember, no matter where you are, no matter where God places you, to accept it, embrace it, and flourish in it. And we will see you on the next time. Thank you. You good?